Good afternoon. I'm Lori McCauley, Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs. I am pleased to officially open this program. I invite you to join in the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner and ask those who are able to please stand for this portion of the ceremony. Please be seated. Commencement ceremonies for most of the university's schools and colleges were held at the end of winter term. The curricula of some of them extend beyond that date. It is the custom of these schools to convene their ceremonies in the weeks following the conclusion of the winter term. Today, it is my privilege to convene the graduation ceremony for the 175th class of the University of Michigan Medical School. Congratulations, graduates. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Marshall Runge, Executive Vice President for Medical Affairs, Dean of the Medical School, and CEO of Michigan Medicine. He will introduce the honored guests in attendance today. And I should also say congratulations on your graduation, Dean Runge.
Thank you, Provost McCauley. And what a beautiful day for a graduation. As we welcome everyone to today's commencement ceremony, it's a great day. It's one of those days you'll never forget. And before we get too far, I'd like to take a moment to recognize several of our distinguished guests who we're honored to have with us. Our keynote speaker, Dr. Shirlene Obobi, Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Lori McCauley, Associate Vice President and Dean of Students, Dr. Laura Blake-Jones, Michigan Alumni Society President-elect, Dr. Fermi Okanlami. I also want to acknowledge the families, partners, friends, and support teams who have carried you, our graduates, over the last 4 or more years. Your compassion, your understanding, and yes, even your advice, as hard as it may have been to accept at the time, has helped sustain this class, this incredible class. Now to our 2025 graduates. Today, you officially join in the profession of medicine and become part of the Michigan alumni family. This is one of those rare days that I believe you'll remember for the rest of your lives. I still remember it. Not just because of the gowns and the cameras, but because of what it represents: perseverance, transformation, and a whole lot of late-night caffeine. Looking back, your time at the University of Michigan Medicine is filled with memories, some profound, some hilarious, and still quite a few of being sleep deprived. And some of you are also building lifelong memories with lifelong partners. In this graduating class, 7 of you got married, 15 babies were conceived, and in keeping with your efficient time management as a medical student, 4 of you did both, married and made babies. A few more fun facts about this remarkable group. One of you danced in 7 performances of the Nutcracker with the St. Louis Ballet over winter break, just returning to your roots for a bit. This year's Galen's Tag Days raised over $100,000 for children in Washtenaw County. A record-breaking effort. One of you spent a summer as a sleepaway camp counselor for kids with hemophilia, and one graduate trained and completed 2 marathons during medical school because apparently step 1 wasn't enough of an endurance challenge. So yes, I'd say it's been an incredibly productive 4 years. When you first started at M1's, graduation probably felt like it was a lifetime away, and yet here you are, on the edge of your next chapter, residency. And while you've learned an extraordinary amount over these 4 years, I promise you there's still much ahead. Residency will teach you more than you expect, and sometimes in ways that you don't anticipate or expect. It's been a little while since I was in your shoes. A minute, as the saying goes, long minute. And so for this reason, I reached out to a few third-year residents and asked them, what do you wish you had known before starting residency? And here's what they told me. Some of it heartfelt, some of it just real. So first of all, there are going to be times when all you can do is to embrace the absurdity. The to-do list will be too long, the pager too loud or your phone too loud, and the coffee too cold. And you will expect more from yourself than any one person could imaginably handle. So let me just prevail upon you to give yourself grace. Doing your best is an incredible achievement. And always remember, your patients are most often going through something far harder than what you are. Second, your medical knowledge matters a lot, and I know you have a lot. But your ability to stay kind under pressure, that matters even more. Learn to say, I don't know, but I'll find out. It's honest, it's humbling, and it earns far more trust than pretending. And third, a couple of practical tips. Remember, meal breaks are sacred. I'll just stop there. No, guard them as if you would guard a central line just placed by an intern on day 1. And remember that sleep isn't something you can catch up on. It's something you mourn, like a long-lost friendship. But more seriously, keep a log of those meaningful moments. The patient who smiled, the family that thanked you, the life that you touched, even when there wasn't a cure. These are moments that you'll hold on to when you're running on fumes and feel like you've overslept into the next century. So in these moments, remember, we as physicians can offer compassion, advice, trust, a reassuring word or smile. Even though we can't promise everything will be all right, we can promise that we'll be there with them. The bottom line is that relationship with your patients, it will trump every paradigm shift, every shiny innovation, and yes, even artificial intelligence. So as I look back on my long career in medicine, some of my most meaningful memories date back to my very own residency 4 decades ago. One was having to tell the husband of an unfortunate woman who had severe multi-system medical problems that she had died. His response was that he threw his arm around me and said what I did not expect to hear. Thank you, Doc. We knew this was coming. And I can go on knowing that you and the team and all those who cared for my wife did everything humanly possible. That's what we have to offer. The second was when I saw a patient in follow-up a couple of years after my residency. She too had multiple medical problems, but between her care and her will, she was doing great. And at the end of her visit, she had this big purse, like this big. she reached into it and pulled out a sweatshirt that she'd embroidered beautifully with a beach scene, a palm tree, and a rainbow, and at the top of it in bold letters, "Don't worry, be happy." It was so touching. And turns out it was a little tight for me, but it's just right for my wife, who wore it off, and whenever she did, we both smiled and remembered the kind woman who had made it, that was grateful and we were so grateful for the blessings of our being physicians. So back to AI. How can I finish without talking about artificial intelligence? AI is revolutionizing everything around us, kind of like the internet did in the 90s, only faster and with fewer dial-up sounds. It took Facebook about 4 years to reach 100 million users. It took ChatGPT just 2 months. And I truly believe that AI is set to become an indispensable healthcare tool, but it's not going to replace physicians or other care providers, but it can change how we work and hopefully how we become more efficient and we get more sleep. And used wisely, it'll make our jobs and the lives of our patients better. The futurist Alvin Toffler once said, "The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn." And that's the challenge. And that's the opportunity that sits before you. But here's my version of the truth. There's no replacement for human caring and emotion. It's the core of what you'll do and will always be the connection you make with another patient, friends, family, and your patients. And more than ever before, you'll work in teams, as you have during your medical school training, with nurses, pharmacists, physical therapists, engineers, social workers, policy experts, data analysts, and even perhaps the occasional AI developer. Some of you may be that person. You'll learn from them and you'll grow through the perspectives that they bring. So I hope that your time at Michigan, from this, you will carry with you this simple truth: life is precious and should be cherished, not just in your work, but in your personal lives. And acknowledging that truth each and every day will help you keep balance between your calling and your humanity. It'll make you not just better physicians, but better people. So I'll close by saying what has been the truth in medicine for centuries long, and is still true today, especially for those we admire most. Medicine is rewarding. Medicine is challenging. But when you keep the health of your patients and your own health at the center of all you do, there'll be far more joy than heartache. So today we celebrate all that you've accomplished and all that you're becoming. You're stepping into one of the most demanding and rewarding professions that exists. And you're ready. We all know you're ready. Congratulations to the class of 2025. We are all so proud of you. Now I'd like to introduce Dr. George Mashur, Executive Vice Dean for Academic Affairs and Chief Academic Officer for Michigan Medicine. Dean Mashur.
Thank you so much, Dean Runge. Good afternoon, everyone. What a great privilege and pleasure it is to be here today to celebrate our graduating class of 2025 and the 175th anniversary of the University of Michigan Medical School. I would like to offer my warm congratulations to our graduates, as well as my gratitude for your remarkable contributions to the medical school, as well as the patients of Michigan Medicine. I would also like to acknowledge the many friends, family, and loved ones here today, and those who could not be here today, all of whom who have played a critical role in this journey with you. Last but certainly not least, I would like to acknowledge and thank our donors who contribute in so many ways to the medical school and our learners. And what a journey this has been for you. Most of you began your careers here during one of the most disruptive eras of modern medicine because of the COVID-19 pandemic, and you now conclude your training here and begin the next era of your careers during another dynamic era for healthcare and research. These are, without a doubt, uncertain times, and uncertainty calls for leadership. So as you start this next phase of clinical or scientific training, I would urge you also to think about your development as a leader. Now, we commonly refer to leaders and best here at the University of Michigan, and I wanted to share 3 brief reflections on this phrase. First, you might be wondering why I would ask you to think about being a leader when your next role will likely be as an intern. Traditionally not at the top of the heap, often underneath it. However, true leadership is not about title, position, or authority, but about positive influence. So please reflect on and cultivate the foundations of influence, which include being trustworthy, authentic, cogent, and credible. Second, leaders do not have all the answers. I'd like you to look at the group of esteemed and exceptional leaders behind me right now. And believe me when I tell you, they wish they had all the answers, as do I very often. Daily, we face complex problems with no obvious or trivial solutions, and you too will face such complexity during your time as clinicians and leaders. Leadership, however, is not about having all the answers, but rather about making sound decisions. So reflect on or develop your principles and processes for decision-making, and cultivate the professional and personal relationships that can help you productively navigate through difficult challenges. Lastly, I want to focus on the word best in Leaders Invest. Each of you is exceptional, and you wouldn't be at this commencement if you weren't. I know a lot is expected of you. I also know you expect a lot of yourselves and of your careers. And as you move forward, I want to ask you to stay connected to who you are as a multidimensional human being. And as you make decisions for yourself, your life, your loved ones, always remember there actually is no objective best. There's only what feels best to you. In closing, I want to again share my heartfelt congratulations and gratitude to you and your loved ones. I wish you all the very best in this next and exciting phase of becoming a physician, and I know that you will continue to make Michigan proud. It is now my great pleasure to introduce Keith Malong, who has been selected by his peers to speak on behalf of the senior class. Keith was raised in Ypsilanti, Michigan, the proud son of Filipino immigrants Mary Jane and Alan Malong, and the proud older brother of Adrienne and Ariel. He earned his Bachelor of Science in Neuroscience and a minor in poetry at the University of Michigan. On his first day as a Michigan student, he met Ann Kozak at freshman orientation. He proposed to her this past April 18th, and fortunately, she said yes. During his gap years, Keith worked as an EMT with Huron Valley Ambulance during the COVID-19 pandemic. At night, he suited up as a valet with future classmate Kenny Ferris at the Gandhi Dancer restaurant. Keith also ran a used microwave, mini fridge, and iClicker remote operation, but the market unfortunately collapsed when iClicker released a phone app. Evidently today, Keith still has too many remotes. Of medical school, Keith will fondly remember learning how to dance from the best through biorhythms and the smoker, working as a social media intern, not studying in Taubman, and notably, when Dr. Gelb swatted him on the head with the smoker program. According to Keith, it was awesome. And he hopes that Dr. Gelb will bless his reflex hammer before he heads off to his emergency medicine residency at the University of Florida, Jacksonville. Keith wants to thank his medical school family for all the love and joy, for inspiring him every day, and of course, for letting him be their photographer. So please join me in welcoming Keith Malong, the 2025 class speaker, as he gives his address entitled Luminous Beings.
Love you too. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Dean Mashur, for the kind introduction. To my class, congratulations and thanks for the chance to talk y'all up. To my parents, Mary Jane and Alan Malong, to my sisters, Adrian and Ariel, and to my fiance, Ann Kozak, know that you are my light. More importantly, my gratitude to everybody that this class represents. To our villages, your sacrifices got us to this mountain, and your love got us to the top. We called you to update you on our study breaks. We told you the outcomes of our step exams, and then we asked for home-cooked meals when the loan disbursement got really thin. You are the reasons we call ourselves physicians. Thank you. I was thinking about the village a lot this past month because of my mom. Her name is Mary Jane. She is a proud Igorota, a Philippine mountain girl with humble beginnings as a tour guide from a small village in Banaue. A nursing career later, we returned to her home in the Philippines to see the house that she had purchased. It was a well-deserved victory lap. Shockingly, as my camera fired away, as it usually does, this house wasn't the symbol of her hard-won prosperity. It was a fried chicken shop called Andoc. I took a picture of her in front of it. She's wearing this really beautiful blue lavender jumpsuit, and she's beaming while 6 bags of massive fried chicken and rotisserie are laid behind her. And right before I took the pic, she told me about a photo that was never taken. 4 decades ago, as a teenager, she stares at the chicken spin through the glass because she couldn't afford it. I like thinking about that photo, the one that was never taken, and then the one that I took, because it makes me think about all the things that happened in between, but more importantly, the people that made it happen. At the age of 23, she's gonna leave the Philippines, which is nauseating, because when I was 23, I was a valet. I had never left her house. And whereas her great trial at that age was becoming an American, mine was trying to figure out how to pass a multiple choice quiz. And I had 2 attempts. Mom, we made it. I am this much closer to giving you that first attending paycheck I promised you. It started off as a joke in college, but then she made me sign on it. Distilled, your life taught me that we can't prosper alone. When you started off in that cramped 2-bedroom apartment with 5 Filipinos, you began to choose a village that would raise me, Adrian, and Ariel. I saw how your mantra, never settle for less, guided who you chose to raise me. Like my white grandma, Grandma Nini as she called herself, my 24 godparents, and the hundreds of titos and tisas that cycled through the house. They were people that shared your joy and loved you despite the struggle. Your village that you chose inspired me. So Mom, I want you to look at your right, because this is the village that I chose. It was because of them that I could do something so scary and so new. It was because of them that this flat, cold rock called Michigan, that I love, felt so warm. To the class of 2025, I wanted to address something that I couldn't articulate for the past 4 years. I didn't know how. A lot of you worried about me when I was taking those photos. You asked me all the time if I felt left out, and if I had a penny for every time Cyrus Nigerian asked, everybody asks, where is the photographer, but no one asks, how is the photographer? I could probably fund his MD, PhD instead of the NIH. I want you to know that I was thriving. And how could I not? Because we're getting kicked off our Google Drives, I counted. There are 17,000 pictures on that drive from the past 4 years. Perfect recreations of how I gave witness to you, my village. Of course, I wanted everyone to have beautiful photos. But why did I take those pictures? I did it because when I met Emmanuel Mboji and Noah Barnett and Amy Kwarteng, on November 20th, 2020. I don't remember what we talked about, but it must have been good because I recorded this right after.
I've met during this process, they are world class, and I have never wanted to go to a school more than I have at this moment. These people are going to change the world, and I want to be a part of that and with them. The people I've met.
I took photos because that recording from 2020 was a prayer that I would meet you in person, that I could train with the best. I took photos because when I'm a patient and I'm in my later years and I'm gonna yap, and this med student asks, "What brings you in here today?" I've already chosen what I'm gonna yap about. I'm gonna tell them that before Kenechekwu Odenubo was getting that bread in the operating room, she was baking that bread like banana. That I could never hear what Naranjan Kumar was saying because of his N95, but I knew it was the right answer. I'm gonna thank them for Anna Harleen because she is the reason I can kind of read heart squiggles. I'm gonna thank Grace Heron to them because she and her full color neurologic notes are the reason I passed the Gelb Gauntlet by 2 points. I'm gonna tell them when Hiab Tashome connected me to her ancestors and their struggle by teaching me the dances of Tigray. That as Afrobeats waited to hit the stage, she yelled, "Dance is joy. And to show your joy is the purest form of defiance." I'm gonna tell them that directing biorhythms with Angelina Knoll and Andrea Orgy was the coolest thing that I got to do. That we all cheered when Sam Gru took home Tokyo Gold. That we all cried when Sonal Joshi announced the arrival of Anushka. And her name is Sanskrit for ray of light. I'm gonna tell them about a glass mosaicist named Aaron O'Connor, a painter named Asma Hussein, a musician named Anita Preer, a pun maker named Tosin Oluwatosin Adeyemi. I'm gonna describe to them how loud the big house sounded standing next to superfan Corianne Norid and her sidekick Patrick Rasmussen. I'm gonna tell them about the worst month of medical school on surgery, how so many people made me feel less than, but Casey Brodsky and Aaron Kim gave me a hug in the hallway, and then Aaron Kim said, "We will dance for them no more." I'm gonna tell them that Marissa Martinelli, I loved it when you asked those questions because it showed me your love of the game. I'm gonna tell them that Janet Daniel and the Black Medical Association brought black hairstylists, black surgeons to teach young girls that their identity is their strength. And you should have seen their faces because futures were written that day. I'm gonna tell them about director Claire Ashmead Mears and how she gave a hype speech before the smoker where she cited the ancient Greeks, and it was awesome. And I'm gonna tell them how the boys gathered every 3 months to eat way too much meat. I'll tell them about Bailey Brown, Sydney Torres, Sanjana Chakshi, Michael Tang, Ann Vo, and Lexi DeShazer Burnett, and all the coffees we drank and the work we didn't do. And I will sing these songs like a prayer. 17,000 reasons why I took pictures until that med student is exhausted. Clinic is so behind schedule, and still no one knows why I am there. On my first rotation of medical school, there was a nurse on Peds GI. Her name was Carol. And she pulled me aside and she said, "Keith, you're a good kid. Don't let this change you." And Carol, wherever you are, I'm sorry to report that I failed, I changed. But I want you to know that I won't be that bitterness or that anger that you warned me about. I will be care. I will be love. I will be everything that you want in a healer, and it will be because of these people in front of me, the village that I chose, class of 2025. Thank you for being my light. Thank you for these pictures. I love you all, and thank you for this final photo together. I'm gonna take a video selfie. And then one photo, thank you.
Keith, that was exceptional. Class, you chose your speaker very well. It is, yes, another round of applause, absolutely. And it is now my sincere pleasure to introduce this year's commencement speaker, Dr. Shirlene Abobi. Dr. Abobi is a general cardiologist and assistant professor at the Warren Alpert Medical School at Brown University. She completed her undergraduate education at Washington University in St. Louis and her medical training at the University of Chicago. Dr. Abobi is the originator of the popular @ShirleyWhirlMD comics on Instagram, which covers a range of topics including identity, healthcare disparities, and the rigors of medical training. Her comics were influential in depicting to the public what it was like to serve on the front lines in the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic. She was a contributor for the Washington Post Well Plus Being section, and her work has been featured in The Lancet, Journal of the American College of Cardiology, and Medscape, as well as in exhibits around the world. Her novels, On Rotation and Between Friends and Lovers, have been featured on multiple outlets such as Teen Vogue, The Washington Post, and Good Morning America. I'm so pleased to present Dr. Shirlene Abobi as she gives her address entitled Finding Your Specialty, Healing Through Leadership. A round of applause for Dr. Abobi.
Thank you so much, Dean Mashur, faculty, graduates, families, and friends. First off, I can't believe I'm following Keith. My goodness. I was holding back tears throughout that entire speech, and I'm just so honored, thrilled, and delighted to be celebrating you guys today. So just wanted to start off with a round of applause for you. Congratulations, University of Michigan Medical School class of 2025. I know that I am standing before a collection of some of the most brilliant, tenacious, and forward-thinking minds in the country, and not just that, some of the bravest. Your class entered the world of medicine as it was tilting on its axis. You transitioned from civilian to clinician during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, a time during which you watched from the outside looking in as healthcare workers cared for patients suffering from a highly contagious disease that led to the deaths of over 1 million Americans. You knew that the world that you were entering was one in which you would be forced to confront the human condition day in and day out. You saw clear-eyed and with no delusions exactly what a career in medicine would mean for you, what you might have to sacrifice, and you answered that calling regardless. And I just want to take a moment to say I am just so, so proud of you. And I hope that every single one of you is proud of yourselves too. Part of what we call the hidden curriculum in medicine is one in which you shed your previous identities. I've heard that some of you are ballet dancers and marathoners, and others have been musicians, artists, athletes, lawyers, consultants, journalists. But now you are transforming yourself into something a little different. So different that it bestows upon you a new name. Forevermore, anything addressed to you from now on can and should be prefixed by doctor. And that prefix will be one of the biggest determinants of how you spend your time, how others will perceive you, and what your role is in any space, clinical or otherwise. Because when you walk into a room and introduce yourself as a doctor of medicine, everyone sits up straighter. They will listen to you. You are conferred a level of power and respect that is rarely given to others based solely on choice of profession. Your opinions and thoughts are considered to hold weight, and there will be times where that weight actually does feel like a burden because you will automatically be considered a leader. As an attending physician, the final decisions about patient care will land on you, and your interdisciplinary team will work with you and adjust their practices around yours. You will lead patients in understandings of their conditions, influence them to make decisions such as whether to pursue a surgery or trial medication that will have enormous impacts on their day-to-day life, and learn about the context of their lives in order to work alongside them to promote their well-being. But the title of leader is not constrained to the hospital floor or to the clinic. And right now, your leadership is needed now more than ever, because we are entering an age during which the health and the well-being of the people that we pledge to serve is under attack. Long fought for public health initiatives are being undermined, and scientific consensus, which can only be achieved, you guys all know, through rigorous study, is being dismissed and diminished. As part of our clinical training, we've all learned how to interrogate scientific literature, a skill that many of our patients and the people we will care for do not possess. And they also will not have the glimpse into the consequences of the sabotage that we do. What is to them a news headline or a number of cases in an online article is to us comforting a sobbing parent as they watch their child suffer against a once near eliminated, highly contagious disease. Currently, we are in an era of rampant health misinformation, and it will take the leadership of all of you sitting here today to combat it. And this is a tall order, because what we are fighting against is human nature. So let me take a quick intermission to discuss heuristics. Heuristics are mental shortcuts that help humans process the incredible onslaught of stimuli we must react to every day. These heuristics are helpful but not foolproof. They include such theories such as the theory of illusory truth, which says that if we hear something over and over again, we're more likely to take it as fact. The theory of availability, which states that if something can be recalled, it must be important or true, and thus we are more likely to believe information that comes to us easily. It includes anecdotal vividness, meaning we are more likely to remember and reference an anecdote, an experience, an image, or a story than we are evidence. And finally, confirmation bias, which states that we are more likely to seek out and trust information that already confirms our beliefs. And no one here is immune to these shortcuts. In fact, they are immensely helpful in allowing us to make sense of our complex world. Everyone here has used mnemonics to more easily repackage and recall complicated medical terminology. And part of why we undergo such long training programs after graduating medical school is so that we can see with our eyes what we've learned in our books to create that anecdotal vividness to which we are naturally drawn. An example, my first night shift of intern year, I took care of a woman with peripartum cardiomyopathy, a condition that had taken up only a few slides in a second-year medical school cardiology lecture. She had 5 children and had been diagnosed after her second. However, the demands of childcare kept her from seeking consistent care, and other social factors limited her from making more informed decisions regarding her reproductive future. And so, by the time she arrived in our emergency room, around 10 p.m. on a Monday night, she was quite sick. In my lectures, I had learned about the term orthopnea, or shortness of breath that occurs while laying flat. But in this patient, I could see how lowering her bed to examine her immediately brought her discomfort. I'd learned to listen to the lungs for crackles, but I hadn't quite understood what those sounded like until my stethoscope hit the skin of her back. And when I watched her die that night, I learned a horrible but vivid, unforgettable lesson about the risk factors and conditions for heart disease specific to and disproportionately experienced by women. This experience lingered with me more than any set of guidelines on heart failure or lectures on pregnancy and heart conditions ever could have. I had seen it with my eyes, and it lent me a perspective that has informed many of my values as a physician and even influenced my choice in field. It provided me a vivid anecdote that will stay with me for all time. Still, medicine is full of nuance, and an entire career in it could not possibly supply us with the anecdotes necessary to care for our patients appropriately. Patterns and heuristics, after all, can be useful, but they cannot contain the full picture. When I started speaking to you all, I referenced your pre-medical eras, a time when you were not yet medical students, not yet the physicians I'm speaking with today, but pluripotent students with particular sets of skills and talents that were selected specifically to curate intellectual diversity within your class. And I'm asking you to use those skills alongside the ones that you have acquired during this journey to lead in only the ways you can. Search for your particular strengths to lend to this mission. If you're familiar with my work, you will understand why I have made this call to action. I'm a general cardiologist. I take care of patients with all matters of conditions, heart failure, coronary artery disease, hyperlipidemia. But before I was a general cardiologist, I was a cartoonist and a writer. I drew comics for my school's newspaper, and in college even made a comic club where I gathered artists and writers and the rare confluence of both to create graphic stories together. And if you look through the Abobi family photo books, you'll find pictures of me at my 10th birthday party hosting a book signing where, in lieu of presents, guests purchased autographed copies of my first novel, bound and printed at the local Kinko's. It may have seemed like these set of skills, as a storyteller, as an artist, and as a physician, were mutually exclusive, that they occupied different lanes, so to speak. However, my form of leadership has come at their confluence. I write fictional novels that feature physician protagonists. I write romance and general fiction, the best-selling genres, in part because I enjoy them, but also because they are accessible. Within my novels, I have included anecdotes about bystander CPR, walking my readers through the tempo and technique such that should they find themselves in a situation where someone around them needs help, they may be able to recall this information. I have a scene in my first book, based on my own experiences as a medical trainee in the South Side of Chicago, that depicts a child who is the victim of gun violence. My comics, which have been displayed in exhibitions around the world and featured in academic journals, tackle difficult topics of inequity in healthcare, as well as shed light on the experiences of healthcare workers. And the videos I share on different topics on cardiovascular health have served their purpose of adding to the body of coherent, accurate medical information available on social media. When I tell you to find your specialty as a leader, though, I'm not asking any of you to become influencers. In fact, I will hold that some of the most impactful forms of leadership you will engage in may look quiet. You will lead in seemingly small moments when you stand up for other members of your team who are not protected by the authority you wield, or call an insurance company for a peer-to-peer to get a patient the care they need. Some of it may, like mine, be on the loud side. I know that already many of you are champions and advocates for causes you believe in, using the megaphone that this career gives you to draw attention to challenges faced by your future patients. Your form of leadership may be more public-facing or policy-directed. Some of you will lead by teaching and mentorship and usher forth the next generation of clinicians through research as a way to advance our understanding of the human bodies. You may pursue industry and help influence the newest technologies that we have access to, or even healthcare administration and bring a physician's voice into the rooms where high-level decisions that impact our patients are being made. But every single one of you, regardless of how you choose to lead, has the capacity to do such good for the world. It is one of the many gifts that this career bestows upon us, the knowledge that we are needed and that the work that we do matters. And so, to conclude, some wisdom from someone who, not too long ago, sat where you're sitting, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, both excited and terrified for the future that is ahead of you. Use the time before you enter this next stage of training to reflect. Interrogate yourself, your own backstory, your motivations. Remember why you decided to pursue this career and how you can use your particular strengths and talents to take full advantage of the power this degree confers you. I'm so thrilled and excited to call all of you my colleagues, and I really, truly cannot wait to see the change you bring to this world. Thank you.
Dr. Obobi, thank you for your inspirational address, AKA Shirley Worrell MD on Insta. Fangirling in so many ways, but I especially love your comics when you have a picture of yourself talking to your cartoon self. So original. Thank you for sharing your luminescent personality and wonderful talents with us. I am Lou Edgy, Senior Associate Dean for Medical Education. It is now time to present the award recipients for the class of 2025. The persistent pursuit of excellence is the individual obligation of every master adaptive learner, be they student or practitioner of medicine. To those who have in their careers evidenced particular dedication to fulfilling this responsibility, recognition is given through the awards which I have the honor of presenting. We will begin with the Senior Award. It gives me great pleasure to announce that the class of 2025 has selected Dr. Sam Kempner as the recipient of the Senior Award. Dr. Kempner, please come forward. The Senior Award goes to a junior faculty member of the medical school who, in the view of the graduating class, best exemplifies the ideals of the teacher-clinician. The award consists of a certificate signed by the president of the Student Council and the addition of their name to the Senior Award plaque. The plaque hangs in the Taubman Health Sciences Library. Dr. Kempner, you're exemplifying leaders and best in everything you do. Congratulations on receiving this tremendous honor. We invite you to share a few words of inspiration with the class.
So I thought that now would be a really good time to talk about obstetric emergencies. Because arguably the most intense moment in obstetrics is that moment when you call an emergency C-section. To kind of set the stage, you're just sitting around with your team, maybe gonna order some Chipotle, when all of a sudden, some baby foils your dinner plans with a terminal bradycardia. You've got two patients, and one of them now is in mortal danger, and your actions could literally be the difference between life and death. For those of you who haven't seen a stat C-section, kind of looking out to the sides, it is a whirlwind. It's basically DEFCON 1, and everybody has to work together, and it's chaos. But it doesn't have to be. If you can verbally consent the patient for surgery and get them moved to the OR, you get them positioned and prepped on the table, and then the goal is to go from skin incision to baby out in 60 seconds or less. Blood loss of up to 1,000 milliliters is considered normal. It's a pretty wild change of events, because you were just thinking about ordering guacamole or queso and pondering the cost of it and kind of clicking around. And now you've got a scalpel in your hand, and you're about to go elbow deep to literally pull one human being out of another. So it's a lot. But the hardest part of all this is really that period between arrival in the OR and before you start the surgery. You've mobilized the team, but now the anesthesiologists, the future heroes among you, have to handle that critical obstetrical airway. You're ready to operate, but now you just have to calmly wait for the patient to be under general anesthesia. And as you stand there, you realize you're a little tachycardic and a little bit sweaty. You're now more than a little bit nervous. It's kind of like exactly how I knew it would feel standing up here, which is how I got the idea to talk about obstetrical emergencies. But here's what I've learned that helps you to handle this moment. You pause. You acknowledge those physical and emotional feelings. And you take a deep breath. And then you look across the table at your surgical assistant, your resident. You know that they're feeling all the exact same things that you're feeling. So you tell them they should probably take a deep breath. And then, without words, you make a pact. You're going to save this baby together. And looking into the eyes of a junior colleague, you just know that this brilliant and capable person is going to help you, and you're going to get through this together. And here I am now looking at all of you. You're like a sea of wonderful, brilliant, and capable future colleagues. I believe in the system of medical education, and I believe in all of you. But let me tell you about the very best moment in obstetrics. It's the moment that baby takes its first breath and lets out a huge cry. It fills the room like a symphony. Everybody's faces are just like plastered with smiles and tears of joy. And this is when I want to start like high-fiving people. I want to like high-five everybody in the room, like anesthesia, pediatrics, hey, nurse who got in the Foley, hey, partner looking good in the bunny suit, like, medical student, like everybody. It's like this. Actually, I probably could high-five the med student now that I think about it because they're scrubbed in, so I'm gonna start doing that. But really, it's just an incredible feeling. It's the most indescribable, incredible feeling. And every specialty has these moments that test your knowledge and your training and your confidence. And every one of these moments is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to draw on everything you've learned, not just in your medical education and training, but also in your life. All those life experiences, the heartbreaks, the hugs, the championships, the firsts, the lasts, all those experiences have brought you here today. They made you here on this stage in this moment. And now's the time to take them out into the world, to care for those who come to you for help. It's an honor, unlike almost anything you'll experience in this world. Now, I received multiple urgent emails from Brad Denson asking me to keep this short. So, in the spirit of education theory, as well as brevity, I will give you 3 quick pieces of advice, and then I promise I'll sit back down. Number 1, this one's easy. Learn the names of your medical students. Learn their names and take them places, like literally take them anywhere. If you're gonna pull a drain, if you're gonna clarify a medication dose, if you wanna like raid the patient nourishment room for those little packages of peanut butter and those comically small things of graham crackers, take a student. Because I guarantee if you learn their names and you take them places, you will excel as a medical educator. But more importantly, you will start to see yourself through their eyes. You're knowledgeable, you're capable, you have an amazingly cool job, and you know where the peanut butter is. You are one major step ahead of them on a very exciting journey. Let them bask in your knowledge and in your awesomeness. Number 2, being a doctor is extraordinary, and it's a huge part of your identity, but it isn't your whole identity. Make time for friendships, hobbies, Netflix binging. Yes, residency demands a lot, but you've got to carve out time to live outside of those hospital walls. And number 3, handle the hardships with a sense of purpose. I feel like so often when I tell people I'm an OBGYN, they're like, oh, that must be so amazing, but like, it must be so sad when things go wrong, or like, oh, I just don't think I could handle those kinds of losses. And yeah, it is absolutely amazing. And yes, it can be so profoundly sad. But whenever I find myself caring for a patient who's experienced a loss, I find myself grateful that I actually get to be there for them. If we can take something so terrible and make it just a little less terrible, simply by sitting or listening or offering a bit of medical expertise, it can be deeply meaningful. Never lose sight of that privilege. Number 4, I know I said I had 3, but I told my mom that I would tell you to call your parents. They are ridiculously proud of you. Just look at them up there beaming. You've got to call your parents. I know you're busy, and that especially applies to you. You've got to call your mom. Finally, we're certainly living in challenging times, and times like these call for individuals who are up for the task. Looking at all of you in front of me and being a small part of your educational journey over the past 4 years, it fills me with so much hope and confidence for the future that lies ahead. You are the future of healthcare. Go forth with compassion, confidence, and pride. You are ready, you are going to make a difference, and we are all so proud of you. Go Blue.
Thank you, Dr. Kempner, for those meaningful and heartfelt words for our graduates and being the phenomenal teacher that you are. At this time, I'd like to direct your attention to the commencement program. Over the course of the past semester, we've had the opportunity to recognize achievement through many media. I ask that all the students in the audience who have been honored with awards please stand and be recognized. Some awards are designated by cords, the color of the cord representing a specific award. Those students who have been awarded distinction in research are wearing white cords. Distinction in service are wearing royal blue cords. Distinction in medical education are wearing light blue cords. Alpha Omega Honor Medical Society are wearing green and gold cords. Gold Humanism Honor Society are wearing the black and gold cords. And the Distinction Award, which is given to the top 10% of the class of 2025, are wearing the gold cords. Congratulations to each of you. I would like to ask Lauren LaMonica and Charles Ryan to continue standing or rise. Stay standing. Lauren and Charles are the recipients of the Dean's Award for Research Excellence. This award is given by the faculty to students who have made outstanding research contributions during their medical school career. Now I'd like to ask the following students to stand. Grace Heron, Jana Lenders, Miles Lewis, Caitlin Molly, Mitra Maz, Anna Nerona, Suzanne Schaffner-Brack, and Neil V. Champagne. These 8 students are the top students who have excelled academically through their medical school education. Will Grace Heron and Susan Schaffner-Beck please remain standing? The highest academic achievement award, upon the recommendation of the medical school faculty, is given to the graduating seniors who have attained the highest record of academic achievement throughout medical school. This year's recipients are Grace Heron and Suzanne Schaffner-Beck. Congratulations. Upon the recommendation of the faculty of the University of Michigan Medical School, the regents of the university confer the degree of Doctor of Medicine on those so recommended. I now have the privilege of conferring on you the diploma certifying the degree Doctor of Medicine. I would like to ask Dr. Zitha Monrad, Associate Dean for Medical Student Education, to come forward and present this year's graduating seniors.
Dean Runge, it is my honor to present to you the 175th class of the University of Michigan Medical School. the class of 2025. Dr. Nadia Aboumarad. Dr. Tosin Adeyemi. Dr. Dua Hussein Al-Jabori. Dr. Matt Anderson. Dr. Emily Arntzen. Dr. Gabriella Ashanafi. Dr. Claire Ashmead Mears. Dr. Gabriella Cosette Arcus. Dr. Mohammed Abbas Awada. Dr. Elizabeth Nairi Ayanian. Dr. Jessica Baker. Dr. Noah Barnett. Dr. Natalie Baxter. Dr. Graham Alistair Walter Beck. Dr. Trisa Marie Benitez. Dr. Sarah Elizabeth Burkholz. Dr. Robin Bernstein. Dr. Obeda Mohammed Batar. Dr. Eva Sophia Blake. Dr. Andrew Bowles. Dr. Brandon Frederick Bonine. Dr. Luca Bora. Dr. Casey Nicole Brodsky. Dr. Bailey Han Brown. Dr. Courtney Julia Burns. Dr. Jessica Carducci. Dr. Michael Kasdan. Dr. Hannah Katzen. Dr. Sanjana Sujit Chokshi. Dr. Rachel Ann Clark. Dr. Ansley Corinne Seemack Controlla. Dr. Clara Marie Cullen. Dr. Liam Dalton. Dr. Callie Deng. Dr. Cairo D'Souza. Dr. Lexis DeShazer Burnett. Dr. Alexander Alton Dennis. Dr. Sarah Danielle Diaz. Dr. Zachary Eisner. Dr. Zina El Sagir. Dr. Chloe Barbara Erdy Elliman. Dr. Kenneth Ferris Jr. Dr. Niet Fisea. Dr. Claire Ford. Dr. Andrew Freginal. Dr. Devin Ann Gingrich. Dr. Hallie Gist. Dr. Joshua David Glauser. Dr. Meredith Starr Glauser. Dr. Nicolas Gomez. Dr. Samantha Gandhi. Dr. Joseph Aaron Greenstein. Dr. Samuel Ellis Grew. Dr. Lewis Harrison Grodman. Dr. Robert Nathan Kent III. Dr. James Haggerty Skeens. Dr. Mohammed Sami Hamid. Dr. Camilla Griggs Hansen. Dr. Anna Harleen. Dr. Olivia James Hazelrig. Dr. Jonathan Herrera. Dr. Grace Catherine Herron. Dr. Imadine Hijazi. Dr. Nicole Faith Hobson. Dr. Ryan Shea. Dr. Isabel J. Shu. Dr. Wesley Huang. Dr. Kara Humphrey. Dr. William Pierce Hunter. Dr. Maria Ibarra. Dr. Uswa Iqbal. Dr. Sanaya Irani. Dr. Sarosh Irani. Dr. Charlotte Milton Krieger Jackson. Dr. Alicia Jacobson. Dr. Michaela Erin Johnson Griggs. Dr. Jesper Kuh. Dr. Rebecca Kopeski Solden. Dr. Mary Helen Kress. Dr. Ashwin Kulkarni. Dr. Niranjan Kumar. Dr. Amy Yvette Quatten. Dr. Lauren LaMonica. Dr. Jana Jennifer Lenders. Dr. Bori Lesser-Lee. Dr. Miles Lewis. Dr. Alice Jia Liu. Dr. Lindsay Ma. Dr. Gabriela Leticia Maica. Dr. Caitlin Mali. Dr. Marissa Martinelli. Dr. Madeline Martinez. Dr. Mitra Padida Maz. Dr. Carolyn McGowan. Dr. Emmanuel Mboji. Dr. Julian Neshwat. Dr. Haley Nielsen. Dr. Angelina Maria Knoll. Dr. Santosh Nori. Dr. Anna Nicole Norona. Dr. Keith Allen Likhayo Melang. Dr. Corianne Aubrey Norrid. Dr. Kenechukwu Ann Odenigbo. Dr. Angela Onedipe. Dr. Allison Palia. Dr. Naomi Francesca Parker. Dr. Nikhil Patel. Dr. Swati Payarnur. Dr. Hiba Pidiakul. Dr. Prashant Puttagunta. Dr. Anita Ho Prier. Dr. Juliana Louise Ramirez. Dr. Hussein Abizer Rashid. Dr. Patrick Magnus Rasmussen. Dr. David Rawls III. Dr. Hiba Rida. Dr. Gabriel Rice. Dr. Riley Richmond. Dr. Gabriela Rodriguez de Miranda Rocha. Dr. Justin Rodriguez. Dr. Charles William Ryan. Dr. Ananda Sapkota. Dr. Michael Neil Saunders. Dr. Gülene Yoltas Seydahmet. Dr. Jeremy Nathan Shapiro. Dr. Brittany Marie Gates Sherwood. Dr. Suzanne Catherine Schaffner-Beck. Dr. Peter Sinko. Dr. Julia Skibniewska. Dr. Christopher Sleckman. Dr. Sarah Small. Dr. Alexandra Emily Seuss. Dr. Matthew Sparling. Dr. Cameron Boucher Spire. Dr. Daria Stelmach. Dr. David Stern. Dr. Abhijit Suryadevara. Dr. Michael Tang. Dr. Shavaz Lyndon Edward Thomas. Dr. Grayson Elliott Tishko. Dr. Sydney Jennifer Torres. Dr. Sarah Elizabeth Tweedy. Dr. Pratik Vadlamudi. Dr. Neil Vaishampayan. Dr. Anjali Vaishnav. Dr. David Varone. Dr. Hannah Vigran. Dr. George Vinalis. Dr. Emily Louise Vogt. Dr. Tiani Huang. Dr. Rainey Dion Weaver. Dr. Madeline Weber. Dr. Travis Wigstrom. Dr. Audrey Winklesuss. Dr. Enzi Zing. Dr. Anna Zarov. Dean Runge, I give you the class of 2025.
Thank you, Dr. Monrad. In our profession, it is the custom established more than 2,000 years ago that no one may be admitted to its honor who has not first expressly taken upon him or herself its obligations. Will the candidates for the Doctor of Medicine in the class of 2025 please rise to take the Hippocratic Oath? I would also like to invite all those physicians in the audience who wish at this time to renew their Hippocratic Oath to rise and join with the candidates in taking of the oath. Will you repeat after me? I do solemnly swear by that which I hold most sacred, that I will be loyal to the profession of medicine and just and generous to its members. That I will share the knowledge and skills which I have received with my colleagues and with future generations of physicians. That I will lead my life and practice my art in uprightness and honor. That into whatsoever house I shall enter, it shall be for the good of the sick and to the utmost of my powers. I, holding myself aloof from wrong, from corruption, from the tempting of others to vice. That I will exercise my art solely for the good of my patients. And will give no drug, perform no operation for a criminal purpose, even if it's solicited, far less suggested. That whatsoever I shall see or hear of the lives of patients which is not fitting to be spoken, I will keep inviolably secret. These things I do promise, and in proportion as I am faithful to this my oath, may happiness and good repute be ever mine, the opposite if I shall be forsworn. These things I do promise, and in proportion as I am faithful to this my oath, may happiness and good repute be ever mine, the opposite if I shall be forsworn. Now, Dean McKean.
This was an extra surprise for me. I'm Erin McKean, your Assistant Dean for Student Affairs, and I now invite all those who are able to please rise and join in singing the alma mater of the University of Michigan, the Yellow and Blue, and then the greatest college fight song ever written, The Victors. The words to both of these songs can be found, if necessary, in the back of your program.
You may be seated. Once again, on behalf of the faculty of the University of Michigan Medical School, congratulations to the class of 2025. As we conclude the celebration, we ask that you please remain seated until all the faculty and graduates have exited. Thank you, and go Blue.